Koi, or Nishikigoi, are ornamental varieties of domesticated carp. They are kept for decorative purposes in freshwater ponds or water gardens. Koi varieties are distinguished by coloration, patterning, and scalation. Some of the major colors are white, black, red, yellow, blue, and cream. The most popular category of koi is the gosanke, which is made up of the kohaku, tanshosanke, and showa sanshoku.
The word koi comes from Japanese, simply meaning carp. It includes both the dull gray fish and the brightly colored varieties. What are known as koi in English are referred to more specifically as nishogi in Japan, literally meaning brocaded carp. In Japanese, koi is a homophone for another word that means affection or love. Koi are therefore symbols of love and friendship in Japan. The koi is also an often reoccurring symbol in irezumi, the Japanese art of traditional tattooing. Carp are a large group of fish originally found in Central Europe and Asia. Various carp species were originally domesticated in East Asia, where they were used as fish food. The ability of carp to survive and adapt to many climates and water conditions allowed the domesticated species to be propagated to many new locations, including Japan. Natural color mutations of these carp would have occurred across all populations. Carp were the first bred for color mutations in China more than 1,000 years ago, where selective breeding of the Prussian carp led to the development of the goldfish. The common carp was acucultured as a fish food at least as far back as the 5th century BC in China and in the Roman Empire during the spread of Christianity in Europe. Common carp were bred for color in Japan in the 1820s, initially in the town of Ojiya in the Niigata prefecture on the northeastern coast of Honshu Island. By the 20th century, a number of color patterns had been established, most notably the red and white koaku. The outside world was not aware of the development of color variations in koi until 1914, when the Niigata koi were exhibited in the annual exposition in Tokyo. At that point, the interest in koi exploded throughout Japan. The hobby of keeping koi eventually spread worldwide. They are now commonly sold in most pet stores with higher quality fish available from specialist dealers. Extensive hybridization between different populations has muddled the historical zoogeography of the common carp. However, scientific consensus is that there is at least two subspecies of the common carp, one from western Eurasia and another from East Asia. One recent study on the mitochondrial DNA of various common carp indicate that koi are the East Asian subspecies. However, another recent study on the mitochondrial DNA of koi have found that koi are descended from multiple lineages of common carp both from Western Eurasian and East Asian varieties. This could be the result of koi being bred from a mix of East Asian and Western Eurasian carp varieties, or being bred exclusively from East Asian varieties and being subsequently hybridized with Western Eurasian varieties, such as the butterfly koi, known product of such a cross. It was from this handful of koi breeds that all other Nishigoi types were bred, with the exception of the Ogon variety, which wasn't developed until recently. The last development of this early time was a great breakthrough in koi breeding and is still one of the most traditional of koi breeds. A tricolored koi is called Taisho Sanki, more commonly known as Sanki. Was first seen during the Meiji era, 1868 through 1912. Though it is not known who first developed the breed, the Sanke was exhibited for the first time in 1915, when the koi was about 15 years old. Kuhaku is a white-skinned koi with large red markings on the top. The name means red and white. Kuhaku was the first ornamental variety to be established in Japan in the late 19th century. Taishosanke is very similar to the Kohaku, except for the addition of small black markings called sumi. This variety was first exhibited in 1914 during the reign of the Taisho Emperor. In America, the name is often abbreviated to just Sanke, which means tricolor. It may also be read as either Sansoki or Sanke. Showa Shusui or Showa Sanki is a black koi with red and white markings. The first Showa Sanki was exhibited in 1927 during the reign of the Showa Emperor. In America, the name is often abbreviated to just Showa. The amount of markings Showa Sanki has increased so much in modern times, to the point it's going to be difficult to distinguish from the Taisho Sanki. The kanji may be read as Sanshoku or as Sanki. Tancho is any koi with a solitary red patch on its head. The fish may be a tancho, showa, taishosanki, or even a tancho goshiki. It is named for the Japanese crane, which also has a red spot on its head. Chakoi, tea-colored. This koi can range in color from pale olive, drab green, or to brown, copper, bronze, and more recently, darker, subdued orange shades. Famous for its docile, friendly personality and large size, it is considered a sign of good luck among koi keepers. Asagi koi is light blue on top and usually red below, but occasionally pale yellow or cream, generally below the lateral line and on the cheeks. The Japanese name means pale greenish blue, spring onion color, or indigo. Sometimes it is incorrectly written as light yellow. Beko, white, red, or yellow skin koi with black markings, sumi. The Japanese name means tortoiseshell. The white, red, and yellow varieties are called shiro beko, ake beko, and ki beko, respectively. It may be confused with the utsuri. Goshiki is a dark koi with red or he pattern. The Japanese name means 5 colors. It appears similar to an asagi with little or no he below the lateral line and a kohaku he pattern over fishnet patterned scales. The base color can range from nearly black to very pale sky blue. Shusi means autumn green. The shutsi was created in 1910 by crossing Japanese asagi with German mirror carp. The fish had no scales except for a single line of large mirror scales dorsally, extending from head to tail. The most common type of shutsi have a pale sky blue gray color above the lateral line and red or orange below the lateral line and on the cheeks. Jean Ding Ding is a koi with metallic scales. The name translates into English as gold and silver scales. It is often abbreviated to Jinling. There are Jinling versions of almost all other varieties of koi, and they are fashionable. Their sparkling, glittery scales contrast to the smooth, even metallic skins and scales seen in the Ogon varieties. Recently, these characteristics have been combined to create a new Jinling Ogon variety. Kararimano is a catch-all term for a koi that cannot be put into one of the other categories. This is a competition category, and many new varieties of koi compete in this one category. It is also known as Karariyoi. Ogon is a metallic koi of one color only, or as the Japanese would say, Skarimojimano. The most commonly encountered colors are gold, platinum, and orange. Cream specimens are very rare. Ogon compete in the Karamimano category at shows. The Japanese name means gold. The variety was created in 1946 from a wild carp that was captured in 1921. Recently, the metallic skin Ogon is being crossed with the Jinling scaled fish to create a Jinling Ogon with metallic skin and sparkling metal flake scales. Komariyu means in Japanese 9 tattooed dragons. It is black Doisu Kazuzu scale fish with curling white markings. The patterns are thought to be a remnant of Japanese ink paintings of dragons. They famously change color with the seasons. Komariyu compete in the Kararimono category. Ochiba is a light blue-gray koi with copper, bronze, or yellow kohaku style pattern, resembling autumn leaves on the water. The Japanese name means fallen leaves. Goromo is a white fish with a kohaku style pattern with blue or black edged scales only over the he pattern. This variety first arose in the 1950s as a cross between a kohaku and an asagi. The most commonly encountered goromo is a ai goromo, which is colored like a kohaku except each of the scales within the red patches has a blue or black edge to it. Less common is the budo goromo, which has a darker burgundy he overlay that gives it the appearance of bunches of grapes. Very rarely seen is the tsumi goromo, which is similar to a budo goromo, but the he pattern is such a dark burgundy that it appears nearly black. Skarimojimano is a koi with colored markings over a metallic base or in two metallic colors.